Dear friends, welcome to our Cambridge Week Day 3, English Teaching Qualifications. My name is Yulia. If you can hear me well, please put a plus in the chat box. Great. The sound seems to be good. So today we are going to talk about teaching qualifications and professional development. We have 3 talks. The first one is about TKT. Then we have a presentation about CELT PS and CELT S, and a session about Delta. There will be another webinar about CELTA. It will be delivered today. And here is the link to register for this CELTA webinar. CELTA webinar will start at 4 p.m. Moscow time. The link is in the chat. If you want to join, please follow the link and register. The materials of today's conference, the recording, certificate of attendance will be distributed soon. The recording will be shared today, and the certificate of attendance will be sent via email in a couple of days. Please be patient. If you have any problems with the sound or video, please reload the page. It is better to use Chrome. If you have any questions, please ask them in the questions section, in the questions box. There we will get some notifications about new questions. Hello, dear participants. I can see many people in the webinar room. People from Russia, Armenia. Welcome, everybody. It's already 1:30 in Moscow, so I think that we should start. I'm happy to introduce the first presenter, Vladimirovna.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic. Can you see your slides? I have just uploaded the presentation for you. The first slide on the screen.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Is everything okay? Let's get it started. Good luck.
All right. So hello, everyone. My name is Elena Bogolyubova. I happen to be a Cambridge assessment presenter. Parallelly, I work for the High School of Economics, St. Petersburg department. So today we are going to talk about TKT, and I'm sure that very many teachers are interested in getting this teaching qualification. And we will have to understand why it is really important, why it is rewarding, why it might be challenging. So let's get started. Julia, if you could just switch the slides, please. The next slide, please. All right, so we can see that Cambridge Assessment Group offers lots and lots of qualifications, but we're interested not only in language qualifications, we're interested in teaching qualifications. And TKT is a fantastic opportunity to raise awareness, to raise teachers' awareness, to just give a new stimulus in their lives. Now the next slide, please. So definitely TKT gives teachers confidence. It is really a confidence building instrument, and we will try to understand how it happens. So the next slide, please. I would say that confidence is a very important thing. When we are confident, I think this confidence goes over to our students, and their confidence also boosts. We can say that better teaching leads to better learning. So if we do not set high standards for our learners, probably we're not just very good at doing what we do. So we have to probably spread this confidence and to inspire our students. So I would say that to build our confidence, we do not necessarily just have enthusiasm, which is necessary, but we have to have certain skills. So we have to build certain skills. And I would say that TKT qualification is recognized around the world by thousands of employers, and that would definitely increase our probably competitiveness on the teaching market. The next slide, please. Now, here you can see the teaching framework. It is a very important document, which just with the help of which we can understand our strengths and weaknesses, where we can put ourselves into a particular category. So here you can see that there are 4 groups of teachers: foundation teachers, developing teachers, also proficient teachers, and expert teachers. Certainly, so the boundaries could be just not so distinct, because just there could be some borderline cases. And for each teacher, for each category of teacher, there are certain there are certain fields, there are certain areas which are carefully described here. For example, it's learning and the learner. So probably foundation teachers will just understand some basic things of some basic language learning concepts. But an expert teacher is bound to have just quite a sophisticated understanding. And a sophisticated teacher is able to plan his or her lessons really carefully and using all the tools available. For example, when we talk about teaching, learning and assessment, so we have to understand that teachers have to will be able to use different teaching approaches. They have to be able to use different assessment techniques. Certainly, a beginner teacher will probably need some support, but an expert teacher, for example, is able to use a variety of assessment tools. So an expert teacher is bound to use, for example, formative and summative assessment effectively. What I'm driving at is that some teachers might be good at some things like assessment or language ability, but there could be some weak points for them. And using this teaching framework as a springboard, we can understand in what direction to move. The next slide, please. And the next one. All right. Here we have a person just who shares her ideas about taking a TKT test. So, and this person from China, she says just that TKT was a really rewarding experience for her, and that she benefited a lot. Let's hear just what she has to say.
Елена Vladimirovna, we cannot see you and cannot hear you at the moment. Probably there are some issues with the connection. Could you go on air again, please?
Is it all right?
Yes, now.
Okay, good. Here.
Elena Vladimirovna, sorry for interrupting. Could you have a look at the lower part of the screen? Do you have the control panel, the arrows to change the slides?
Well, unfortunately, so it hasn't appeared here. I'm sorry to say.
Could you click on the second sign, which is called presentation? Let's try it.
All right.
Can you see the arrows now?
No, unfortunately, no. Sorry.
No. Okay, not a problem. I will be here for you. Just let me know when we need to change the slides.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Now, please have a look at this slide. And the representative from China, the representative of a new Oriental chain, says that they have decided to make a examination mandatory for all teachers. So that was a very wide step to take because when teachers have this qualification, they have lots in common. They know terminology. They just share the same ideas about teaching and learning, which makes communication between teachers really efficient. And so this group provides programs, preparation programs, and support for teachers. Now the next slide, please. So this teacher from Romania also just says that taking TKT was a very rewarding experience for her. And I think the key words here is that it was really helpful. You know, TKT is not just some kind of abstract thing. It is a pragmatic, it is a practical test which really allows you to understand classroom situations, to know how to deal with them. So I would say that practicality, practical character of TKT is of utmost importance. Could we move on, please? And the representative from Mexico, who happens to be an English coordinator, also says some good words about TKT. But I think the main idea here is that TKT provides some essential knowledge for teachers. And it just focuses on the fact that TKT opens many doors for teachers. So taking TKT could be a small step, but it can really lead you to new prospects, to new opportunities, to new accomplishments and achievements. Could we please go on? Talking about institutions, we can say that TKT, by giving this impetus to teachers, really leads to learners learning better. It is quite a cost-effective provision for teachers' development. And I would say that there is the spirit of camaraderie just among teachers who share the same ideas, who share the same understanding of both teaching and learning processes. Certainly, when teachers at your just school, at your language school, at your municipal school have this certificate, it could be a very just good marketing benefit because you can say that the majority or all the teachers at our school have this qualification. And I would say TKT is very good for recruitment. Because if you recruit a person who has already got a TKT certificate, it means that a teacher has achieved a certain level of methodological proficiency. The next slide, please. Thank you. Here we can see that all in all there are 5 modules, and each module comprises 80 questions, and they have to be answered in 80 minutes. There are certificates for each module, and you can say you can take TKT modules in any order you like. You can start with any module you like. So test dates are provided on demand. Could we move further on? TKT is a cost-effective and certified development. And also, just when you select modules, you have to decide which things you are good at. Probably just linguistic issues. That's the central, probably, asset of yours. In that case, you could start, for example, with module number 1. If you have got rich experience in teaching, you can take the 3rd module, module number 3, of TKT examination, because it covers the area of classroom management. For example, if you have been working in a profession for a long time, intuitively, definitely you do understand many things which would make taking TKT just easier for you. Generally, I've already mentioned the importance of confidence building, of acquiring certain skills. Could we move on, please? TKT just focuses on the principles of English teaching. When preparing for this examination, you will learn a lot about different teaching methodologies. You will understand more about, for example, task-based learning, or presentation practice production method, or test method. And actually teachers who talk just among themselves, they use, for example, these abbreviations, TTT, TBL, PPP, which could be just unclear area for some teachers. But for teachers who take TKT, so they become just inseparable part of their knowledge. Certainly we know that lesson planning is one of the key areas in teaching. By taking module number 2, you will understand more about how to plan a lesson, how to progress from the very beginning, how to end your lesson effectively, and how to develop just your lesson, just focusing on the sequence of stages in a lesson. Also, TKT relates to classroom management, and I would say that managing our classrooms means that we're effective managers, administrators, that we're effective controllers, diagnosticians, providers. So we really learn more. We learn more about different roles of a teacher. Certainly, when we prepare for TKT, when we take these examinations, we understand how to use resources, both digital resources and printed resources. We understand how to use supplementary materials. So I would generally say that TKT is a multi-dimensional instrument which enables us to develop in many, many ways. Could we move on, please? All right, so here we have a table which shows information about TKT modules. There are 3 core modules from 1 to 3, and we can see that the number of questions and the duration of each module, so they are the same for each module. And the examinations could be taken both in paper-based form and in a computer-based form. Module number 1 is basically about language and language background to teaching and learning. Module number 2 is related to planning a lesson and using resources. Module number 3 relates to classroom management, and young learners specialist module is targeted at teachers who teach children from 6 to 12, and certainly all those many cases, all those classroom situations which are presented, they are about this category of learners. I would say that TKT CLIL is very important for those teachers, for those language teachers who introduce content material from other subjects. And also, it is equally important for teachers who teach, for the subject teachers who teach some of the modules of their subject in English. Here you can see a range of 3 core modules and 2 specialist modules. Now the next slide, please. When preparing for the examination, it's your decision how to prepare for an examination. You might be offered a preparation course by your school, or you can take a preparation course at just a university or at just some school. Also, you can prepare on your own. And I would say there is a variety of materials, preparation materials, which are available both in printed and digital form, which allows you, for example, to prepare on your own. When talking about how to register for the center, for the examination, you can register throughout authorized Cambridge English exam centers. Now the next one, please. All right, here you can see a variety of different printed materials which are available. There is a TKT course book for modules 1, 2, and 3. It gives some theoretical input, and also it offers a sample test. It gives you an opportunity to practice different task types. There is a special TKT course book for CLIL, for Content and Language Integrated Learning, and actually it is arranged in the same way, according to the same principles as the TKT course for core modules. The course which I would really recommend to everybody is the TKT online course. What are the advantages of this course? You can practice just plentifully. So there is a variety of different tasks, different sample tests. I would say we learn through practicing things. That's why TKT Online is a very effective tool, a very effective instrument to automate your skills, to just acquire this experience which is important for taking an examination. For each module, there is a handbook for teachers, which contains a sample test. And also it describes the format of an examination. Actually, the one which comes first, but it is not just the list in importance, it is Teaching Knowledge Test Glossary. Terms, terminology, they're foundation blocks for TKT. When you understand terminology, it would be easier for you to analyze different situations and to do all the tasks which are offered to you. So the next slide, please. Here you can see that TKT results are presented in 4 bands. The top band is 4, it implies that a teacher has extensive knowledge of TKT content areas. Band number 3 corresponds to broad and deep knowledge. Band number 2 implies that a person has basic but systematic knowledge of TKT. Band number 1 means limited knowledge. But I'm sure that if teachers prepare either on their own or just visiting some course, they will definitely get bands 3 or 4. Also here on this slide, you can see an example of a certificate which is given to candidates. And you can see that certificates are given for each module separately. So the next slide, please. Now we're going to summarize everything which we have discussed in this first part. We can say that TKT is a flexible qualification because you can prepare just how you want, you can prepare when you want, and also it is quite accessible. You can easily register for this qualification at the Certified Examination Center. And there is access to a variety of materials. There is a vast network of support. So TKT is a confidence builder, and certainly it is good for your self-esteem as a professional. It will enable you to learn more about teaching, the principles of teaching, and also you might just want to choose a particular preparation program offered by institutions, or a program which you might design yourself. Why not? And I would say that it ensures that teachers, they achieve a certain level of knowledge which enable them to teach better, which will enable them to communicate with their colleagues better, which will enable them to observe other teachers' lessons and pay attention to important things. So I would say that TKT is quite just an important thing. So we're going to stop here for a while, and let me have a look at the questions I have. When talking about the difference between CELTA and TKT, so we can say that actually TKT is probably an examination you start right with when preparing for CELTA, because it lays foundation for CELTA. So TKT actually implies doing different kind of tasks and just shading the lozenges on your answer sheet, whereas in CELTA you have this practical element. You give lessons, you observe lessons, you have theoretical input, and CELTA doesn't imply taking any examination as such because it is continuous assessment. Certainly, I would definitely recommend taking a TKT first. And by the way, in many centers which provide CELTA, that is a must, that is a requirement. So what does CLIL refer to? CLIL refers to content and language integrated learning. So as I've already said, it means that you learn more about how to introduce content area from other subjects. On the other hand, subject teachers might understand how to use language effectively. And I will say some extra things about CLIL in a moment. So this is just the basic stuff. How long is the certificate valid? So it is a long life certificate, so you don't have to retake a TKT test. All right, now let's move on to our next section. Could we have the next slide, please? Now, please just pay attention to this quote, which belongs to a teacher from Russia. She basically says the same things about TKT that her colleagues have been talking about. But there is one thing which I would like you to pay attention to, and that is that the teacher, for this particular teacher, she certainly knew certain things, but they became more articulate. So that's what TKT is very good for raising sharpness of your awareness, of understanding particular things more precisely. If, for example, intuitively you know some things, and there are some common sense matters which you understand, but from the TKT perspective, you get a very sharp focus on certain areas. Actually, well, there is one more question which I would like to answer right now. Can you send a link of online TKT course? Yeah, just Julia will explain everything because actually, so you have to buy this course, right? That's why we can't automatically send you a link to this course, but probably Julia will give more information about it. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, again, I'm sorry. Here you have a table, a diagram actually, which shows you different development pathways for teachers. Certainly, everybody is different. All of us are different. We have different teaching backgrounds. We have different language qualification backgrounds. So, for the teachers who do have certain problems with the language, who do need language support, we recommend to take the language development program first, and only then to move on to taking TKT. So there might be teachers whose language is very good, but who need some classroom support. So in that case, taking a certificate in English language teaching primary and certificate in English language teaching secondary could be of real help. Also for teachers who are good both at language and who do understand everything which goes just in the classroom very clearly, who have good awareness of teaching and learning, we might recommend to take the train the trainer qualification. In that case, you will be able to disseminate knowledge, to spread knowledge to our teachers. So I think because the mission of every teacher is to share knowledge and to make not only yourself a better professional, but to help others to succeed in the teaching profession. Could we move on to the next slide, please? Let me see if there are any other questions. No, I don't think so. So please, if you have any more questions, please send me these questions and I will answer them at the end of today's session. You know, we're going to proceed to the format of the TKT examination and to some content areas which are important for this exam. Let's start with module number 1. So you remember that timing, the number of questions, they are the same for all modules. I'm not going to repeat this information any further, but let's have a look at the task types which are offered in each module. The task types are the following: matching, multiple choice, and the odd one out. On your answer sheet, you have to shade a lozenge which corresponds to the correct letter. And let's see which content is covered in module number 1. In module number 1, you will learn more, you will expand your knowledge on motivation, you will learn more about linguistic matters, grammar, lexis, and phonology. Also, you will understand skills, both productive and receptive skills better. You will widen the scope just of your knowledge in assessment, and you will definitely learn more about types of learners and how to motivate them. Here we're going to, in the next slide, we're going to have a look at some task types which are offered in module number 1. So please, here candidates are supposed to match words with the symbols, with the phonemic symbols. That is just a linguistic task, and it implies just some knowledge in phonology. Now, the next task is shown on the next slide. We move on to the next slide, please. Right. The candidates are expected here to match some language skills and some descriptions which are given below. For example, we're looking at this one, summarizing. What is summarizing? Just before choosing the answer, try to find an answer for yourself. We know that summarizing is providing essence, providing the main things. Summarizing means actually crystallizing just the main thing. And it leads us to correct answer that actually it just means giving the main points of a task. Now the next slide, please. All right, so we're moving to module number 2, and we're going to talk about lesson planning. Lesson planning is one of the most challenging things for many candidates because lesson planning requires a variety of skills. So let's have a look at just the description of this TKT module. Timing, number of questions the same. We'll have a look at the task type. There is one new task type, which is sequencing. Why does it appear in this particular section? It appears in this particular section because very often there is just a lesson plan and there are some stages which are missing in a lesson plan. You have to insert the missing stages. In that way, you do this sequencing activity. I will say a bit more about the content area of module number 2. So when planning a lesson, you have to think carefully about aims, you have to think carefully about lesson plan components, you have to think carefully about assessment. And all these things are covered in module number 2. The next thing which this module is devoted to is resources and materials. Now here, Julia, thank you. I found my panel at last. I really apologize. Just now everything is all right. I'm going to switch slides myself. Let's have a look. Here, there is a stage of a lesson, a lead-in, and there are several aims stated. Just before we try and find the correct answer, let's see what a lead-in is. A lead-in is the stage of the lesson when you have to activate students' minds, when you have to relate this stage to the topic of the lesson. You have to personalize you have to personalize learning, and let's see which answer best fits this description. Probably so it means that we personalize our learning, we personalize the start of the lesson. This is one of the examples of the tasks in module number 2. Now the next one is devoted to materials, dictionaries, well, in particular in this case. Here you can see a dictionary entry, and you have to match, right? You have to match the dictionary entry to the description which is given in the right-hand column. For example, I am convinced that she's telling the truth. Looking at this box, we can see that actually this is the example sentence which is given in this entry. That's why we mark B as the correct answer. Now, moving on to the next slide. We will decide what is important for module number 3. Module number 3 is about managing your classroom, about using your language, about your learner's language. It also helps you to deal with certain difficulties, to organize the teaching process effectively. And module number 3 also covers the content area of roles a teacher performs during the session, during the session. Please, I've mentioned that teacher's language is explored in this module. For example, you've got some samples of teacher's language and you've got functions. By the way, notions and functions, that is a general approach which permeates the whole of TKT. And for example, a teacher says, listen, I like playing football. Repeat, everyone, I like playing football. So since the keyword is repeat, right? So we definitely understand that this is the situation of drilling. Now, moving on to the next slide, it is devoted to teachers' roles. Here you have to match teachers' roles to the situations which are listed below. And for example, if a teacher puts students into groups, puts students into groups of 3. We do understand that a teacher is an organizer or a manager. A will be correct, will be the correct answer for this description. Now, young learners. You have to be aware that you have to tune your teaching to the age of your students. And all the many cases, all the situations which are analyzed here are about children who are from 6 to 12. So the task types are very much the same compared to the core modules, to modules 1, 2, and 3 combined together. The main idea is that everything is tuned, everything is targeted at teaching a particular age group. Now, for example, here there are some teacher's instructions and some main cognitive strategies. For example, if a teacher asks to look at monsters in the picture and decide which monster is naughty, and decide how the children know about it. So actually, they infer information. They make a decision. Kids make their decision by using the information of in the picture. It means that there is this inference strategy or inferring. Moving on to content and language integrated learning. So there was a question about content and language integrated learning, and I would say that probably this statement will enable you to understand more about CLIL. CLIL revolves around 4 C's. It is content, it is cognition, it is communication, and culture or cultural awareness. Sometimes instead of cultural awareness, we use the term citizenship. Again, the number of questions, duration is the same. We have a new task type, which we didn't come across in the previous modules, that is ordering. So there is a wider scope of tasks. Just when preparing for this module, you will definitely just expand your knowledge about cognitive skills, about cultural awareness, about just using challenging content, just materials. So let's have a look at the task which could be offered in the CLIL examination. Well, pay attention to the task because the idea is to find the language which is not which is not suitable for a particular situation. For example, for writing about the experiment on gravity the learners did in the lab, are they just likely to use just the past tense? Definitely, because they've already done that experiment. Are they likely to use some comparative forms? Definitely. But are they likely to use question tags? Definitely no. So you mark C as the correct answer. So these not tasks sometimes appear to be a bit confusing. If you don't read the task properly, you might just give an inadequate answer. Dear colleagues, we have covered all modules, all TKT modules, and let me see let me see if there are any more questions we have. What language level is required for TKT? The minimum language level is B1, so it is quite a modest requirement. Now, please, just independent English language user. Yeah, all right. I'm sorry. So the answer has been provided. Could you tell me more about the train the trainer course? I think, well, each time we have to learn about just these courses which are organized on a regular basis. For example, just I took the train the trainer course. Let's say I think it was well, probably 7 or 8 years ago, and it was organized by the British Council. Probably Julia will give you more information about the available train the trainer courses. Are there any samples of ticketed tests online which are free to take? Yeah, definitely. You go to the Cambridge English org site and you click TKT and you will get some sites and you will get some samples, but please don't hesitate to use handbooks and don't hesitate to use some previous papers. So Julia has sent you the reference. Is TKT good to take in case I teach one-to-one and online? I think it is good in all situations because it makes you a more effective user of terminology on the one hand. On the other hand, you know how to plan a lesson, you know how to group students, and irrespective of how you teach and whom you teach. TKT is really helpful. Where can we pass TKT? You can register at any authorized center. Does it matter which module to pass first? No. Generally, there are no standard requirements. But as I have already said, so you have to understand your strong points. If you're an experienced teacher, understanding classroom situations, probably it would be a good idea to start with Module 3. If you are fresh from college or university, and you're a linguist by nature, well, you could start with module number 1. But actually, it's individual choice, and it is your choice. All right, so I think we're 2 minutes behind our time limit. Any other questions we have? Julia, have I missed anything? All right.
Elena Vladimirovna, thanks a lot for the presentation. Very detailed and inspiring. I think we answered most of the questions, and I just would like to repeat that if you want to take TKT, please find an exam center in your city or country. The link, I will send the link in the chat. I have already sent it, but I will send it again. You can register. Any teacher can take TKT. There was a question about private teachers. Yes, private teachers can take TKT. You can take any modules you would like to take. Module 1, Module 2, or maybe only young learners. So everything must be clear. The recording of this presentation will be shared with you. If you still have any questions, please put them into the question section or into the chat box. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Elena Vladimirovna.
Right, and I've just read some all statements in the chat. So thank you for your support and for your and for recognition. Thanks a lot. See you next time.
See you next time. Thank you. Friends, dear participants, now I'm ready to introduce the next presenter, Yulia Nagai. Yulia is a teacher trainer, and Yulia is going to talk about CELT P and CELT S. Hello, Yulia.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is
There is some noise. I can hear some noise. Let's.
Is it better now?
Yes, it's better now. Thank you very much. Dear friends,
right.
Can you hear Yulia? Please put some pluses in the chat.
All right, great.
Okay, fantastic. Yulia, there was a question about Train the Trainer course. I know that this course will be mentioned in your presentation. So please, if we have time, tell us more about this program for teachers.
All right, yeah, thank you very much. I will definitely try to cover this question because it is a part of my presentation.
Fantastic. Right. Thank you very much. Can you see your slides?
Yeah, I can. And I think, yeah, I can manage to use this. That's fine.
Fantastic. Okay.
That's fine. Great. Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. And thank you very much to Cambridge Assessment for having me. It's a great pleasure. My name is Julie Nagai, and I'm a Director of Studies in Pilot Language School, Rostov-on-Don. I'm also in charge of CELT P and CELT S courses in our school as an administrator and trainer, so I have all the inside information. I'll try to share it with you and hope it will be helpful. So the previous speaker mentioned the TKT exams, which is actually a part of CELT P and CELT S courses. And I will mention about the Train the Trainer course today. All right. Great. So you do know for sure that Cambridge English Assessment, they offer a great variety of exams and qualifications for professional development. And here we're not only talking about the proficiency language exams like FCE, CIE, and CP and others, but we talk about teacher development qualifications. So, 1 minute. All right. So if you are interested in the place where you are now in the professional development path, you can go to the Cambridge website and find teaching framework. So there you can read the requirements and the particular stages there and see where you are now and what you need to focus on to become a better teacher or to gain a better master your language. So here we are going to talk about CELT P and CELT S courses. CELT P is Certificate in English Language Teaching Primary, and here we are going to talk about teaching primary school learners aging from 6 to 11. So if you're a primary school teacher or a private teacher who's working with the particular age group, or maybe a person who wants to start teaching the young learners, this course is very practical, and I believe that's much help. Talking about CELT-S course, Certificate in English Language Teaching Secondary, here the age group in focus is the teenagers. So here the children aging from 11 to 18. The both courses are very similar, talking about their structure. That's why sometimes I'm going to talk about both of them at the same time. But please bear in mind which age group you are more interested in, either primary school learners or secondary, who are teenagers mostly. All right. So as you can see on this slide, the CELT-P and CELT-S courses are designed specifically to help teachers motivate and engage school students. Actually, many people ask a question about the difference of CELTA and CELT-P and CELT-S courses. What I can say that CELTA ends with letter A, and it means Certificate in English Language Teaching of Adults. Here we are focusing on young learners and teenagers, so particularly these age groups, their psychological characteristics, how to manage the class, the kids, who are critically very misbehaving sometimes. All right, so let's have a look at the structure of the course itself. I will answer the question in the chat, I see it, but a bit later. Thanks for asking. So CELT-P and CELT-S courses, they have pretty the same structure. That's why let's have a look at it. There are 9 modules in CELT-P and 8 modules in CELT-S. Each module consists of the following components. The first component is an online self-study. So it means that you have an access to a particular website where you learn some theory. But the good stuff is that the theory is not only about reading, but it is also about listening other teachers' opinions or watching short videos of the lessons, which I find the most valuable part, or it might be listening to some lecturer. So the online study is not the pure reading, but it's pretty interactive study. The next step, when you learned it, you have some face-to-face training sessions. So the CELT-P and CELT-S courses, they might be purely online courses or blended learning courses. So it means when you apply to obtain this qualification, and if this exam center is in your city or in the region where you live and it's easy for you to go there, you will have face-to-face real sessions with your tutor. But if you take an exam in the city which is far away, for example, in our center, we have candidates from all over Russia, like from Sakhalin, Sevastopol, and other cities. We also have some people from China who work and live there, from Belarus, and some other countries. So they definitely are not able to come here in Rostov. That's why they have face-to-face sessions with their tutor, but they are held online. What's the face-to-face session about? The tutor explains the portfolio task itself. This is a practical task which you have after each module. So the tutor helps you with the task, how to approach it, what to do. The tutor also gives you some examples and answer any of your questions if you have. So again, online study, some theory, plus face-to-face sessions with a trainer. And the next step is assessment, how your knowledge and your development is assessed. So after each module, you have a portfolio task. This is the great thing. It's pretty practical because all the theory you learn, you need to apply straight away to practice. And it's about planning the lessons, teaching some parts of the lessons, not the full lesson yet, but just some bits which you are focusing on. If your module was about teaching classroom management, so it means that you are going to plan how to organize the activity, how to ask some questions, and so on. So the good thing about portfolio task, you apply all the theory you learned to practice straight away. You also teach your own group. So it means that you do not have to adjust to a new teaching environment or to go anywhere or maybe to teach the group you've never seen before. So you work and you teach your own groups who you know really well, and you can improve your teaching straight away right here in the place where you work. That's, I think, again, the most valuable. So this is assess task, mean portfolio task. Teaching practice. The good thing, again, in this course, that you have 3 teaching practices. The teaching practice is when you plan the full lesson, you teach it, and the trainer who is in charge of your group observes the lesson. Again, it can be face-to-face. Oh, I'm really sorry. One moment. Teaching practices. The first teaching practice is about, all right, the sound is not good, I see. All right, I'm sorry, I will continue it anyway. So the first teaching practice and the second one, when you plan the lesson and you teach the lesson, the trainer observes your lesson either face-to-face, or it might be a recording or even online translate or online broadcasting. So oh, thanks for typing that the sound is good, because I'm not aware if you can hear me or not. Okay, I hope it's not my problem. So the teaching practice, when you teach the lesson, the tutor observes the lesson and gives you feedback. The first teaching practices are not assessed. So you get detailed feedback and you get an action plan what to work on and how to develop your teaching, but you are not assessed. That is the good thing. So you are not afraid of being assessed, because you're just applying some theoretical knowledge you've got, and it's a kind of a dress rehearsal before the third teaching practice, which happens at the very end of the course. The third teaching practice is assessed, and it actually influences the mark in your certificate. Talking about TKT module, it is required that the person who takes CELT-P has TKT Young Learners module. If you do not have it, it's absolutely fine, because you can take it during the course. You do not need to prepare for TKT module because this preparation actually is a part of the CELT-P and CELT-S study. All the tasks you perform, they help you to prepare for TKT modules. And also there is a particular section which states TKT module preparation. So it means that you have some extra practice there on the website. All right, let's move on. All right. So what's good about CELT-P and CELT-S courses is that they are very practical. So you not only learn the theory, but also apply it to practice straight away. And you have a well-educated tutor, a trainer who helps you to develop professionally, giving you recommendations and developing an action plan. All right, people say that something wrong with my microphone. 1 minute. No, okay. So let's do the following. If you face any problems with the sound, you may see the recording afterwards on YouTube. All right, so there will be a recording on YouTube afterwards. So CELT-P and CELT-S courses are very practical, as I've mentioned it. They are also help to develop your teaching skills and there is the trainer who helps you. It's also very flexible because you can study and teach at the same time. You don't need to leave your place of work. You do not need to leave your family, like with CELTA, for example, for the whole month. But you teach, you learn, and online part is pretty flexible because you have about 5 to 8 hours per week of study, self-study. And it's up to you. You can have 1 hour a day to study, or you can spend the whole Saturday, like 5-6 hours studying, catching up to the schedule. So again, it's pretty flexible. So let's have a close look to CELTP qualification, Certificate in English Language Teaching Primary for kids aging from 6 to 11. All right. So the course is designed to meet the needs of teachers in primary education. There are 2 options: online, as I mentioned, and blended study when you, for some sessions, come to the center. It's pretty long. It's 9 months, and it's 120 hours of online input, plus assessment, and plus 27 hours of face-to-face training. The minimum requirements, again, are pretty modest. It's just B1 level of knowledge. What I can say that if you are B1 level, ideally you need to be a strong B1 or maybe B2 even better, because all the course is in English. The trainers communicate with you in English, and all the feedback, recommendations, and everything which is happening in the course happens in English. So if you struggle with the language, it will be more challenging for you to perform the course successfully. All right. So in CELTP there are 9 modules, and you can see the topics there. I think they're pretty logical, because first you learn some psychological characteristic of young learners, the age and the primary classroom. Then you learn how to develop some skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Then how to teach the language itself, how to manage the primary classroom. I think that is one of the most important modules here. Also resources to use. I know that many people struggle to find appropriate grammar books for primary school learners, as they usually start using adult books which are not appropriate for the kids' age. The resources, how to assess the language, and there are 9 modules, but it's not the exam, it is the course. So the course lasts for 9 months, and it means 1 month, 1 module, 2 weeks of online study, 2 weeks for practical portfolio tasks, and some teaching lessons. So if you have CELTA course, it means that that's great, that you are qualified, and also you know how to teach adults mainly. CELTP focuses on teaching young learners aging from 6 to 11, and CELT-S teaching teenagers. That's why if you're interested in these particular age groups, you may easily take this exam, so take this course. We do have people who have CELTA and then they apply for CELT-P or CELT-S courses, as they teach mainly teenagers or kids. All right. I will tell you about the assessment, how to obtain the certificate, because it's not the course itself, it's not the exam. All right. Let's have a look at CELT-S course, Certificate in English Language Teaching Secondary. Here we're talking about teaching teenagers aging from 11 to 18. Again, the structure is similar. It might be online or blended. A lot of hours of online practice assessment and face-to-face trainings. And also the basic requirement is B1 level, right? In CELT-S there are 8 modules and 8 topics. Again, you may have a look at them. They're pretty similar to the previous one, but I can say that here the focus is on teenagers, on their age group. Yeah, again, it's about classroom management, language learning, teaching the skills, teaching language, your own teaching, teaching language, I mean, talking about grammar and lexis, and also assessing the knowledge. All right. So let's have a quick look at this part, and I'll just shortly tell you that CELT-P and CELT-S, this is 9-month course where you learn the theory, and at the same time when you learn the theory, you prepare for TKT Young Learners for primary or TKT Module 1 for CELT-S secondary. So you have online study for 2 weeks, face-to-face sessions with a tutor, and then you have portfolio tasks when you plan to teach, and teaching practice when you teach full-length lessons. TKT module is a part of assessment. So you need to have TKT Young Learners for primary or module 1 for secondary, or you take TKT during the course. It happens typically, it's scheduled in the course, and it happens about like on the 7th month of the study. It's enough time to prepare for the exams, and it's enough time when you take the exam to get the results. Because without the TKT, you won't obtain CELT-P or CELT-S certificate. So it means that at the end of the course, you have 2 certificates, Module 1 TKT and CELT-S, or Module Young Learners and CELT-P. So that's kind of pretty complicated. All right, I'll tell you a bit further in detail. This is about assessment. How do you get CELT-P or CELT-S certificate? How do you obtain this qualification? You study for 9 months, you perform online tasks. You also do portfolio tasks at the end of each module. Here they are. So if there are 9 modules, there are going to be 9 portfolio tasks. If there are 8, so 8. Assess teaching practice. There are 2 full lessons you teach, which are observed, but not assessed. You get the recommendations, you get an action plan, what to work on, but they're not assessed. And then, all right, and then the 3rd teaching practice, it's a kind of a practical exam. You teach the full length lesson at the very end of the course, and you get the mark for it. It's if it is very strong, you get pass with merit, or if it's just if it's a standard level, you get pass. Then, so you need to have portfolio tasks, you need to teach the lessons, and pass TKT. TKT Young Learners for CELT-P and TKT Module 1 for CELT-S. At the very end, you get the certificate, which has grades, either pass or pass with merit. All right. Here we are going to have a look at some online tasks. So for you to understand that it's not just boring reading, but the tasks are various and pretty interactive. So even online study is pretty engaging. So here you might also reflect on your own study, and you read some statements and state your own opinion if it is true or false for you, and then you learn some theory and see if your beliefs were right ones, or maybe you need to change something. Okay. Another task type, when you listen to a lecture or you listen other teachers' opinions, and then you tick something, or you match, or you choose some activities. After learning some theory, there is always a stage which is called theory to practice. So it means that there are some practical tasks, either about lesson planning, or evaluating the book you teach, or about classroom management. So again, it's pretty practical course. All right, I'll skip some slides. Again, at the very end of each module of online study, you have a test. The test is a big help for you to review the information you learned, to see how much you've obtained, or maybe you need to refresh the knowledge. You can retake the online tasks, so they are not fixed. It's mostly for your studying. All right, so let's sum up it a bit. So for CELT-P and CELT-S courses, minimum requirements are B1 level of English, and practicing teachers of English of the required age group. What it means? Ideally, you need to have a group of this age because all the portfolio tasks and teaching practice you need to teach. And if you do not have a group, or if you do not teach these days, it might be a bit of a challenge. What happens in this case if you are on maternity leave or you do not have place of work now? Typically, if the people are somewhere near our school, we may give them the group to teach. So the trainer helps to prepare and teach the group. If you're far away from Rostov and our center or any other centers, you may talk to the schools nearby and ask if you can teach some classes there. Or maybe if you're a private teacher and you teach one-to-one classes, you can gather the 3-4 students together of the same age and level and teach the particular portfolio task lesson. So that's how people do typically. So I promised to mention, yes, so if you've seen the previous talk, you might have seen these pathways. Let's have a look at them. So the first pathway, if you want to focus on your language development and you feel like you're not confident enough yet to go to this full-length methodology course, which is full in English, you may apply for the course which is called Language for Teaching. This particular course actually is very popular among school teachers. This is very flexible. This is purely online course and purely self-study. You get an access to some materials which are interactive and practical ones, and you study for half a year. The price is pretty affordable, I can say, and there is online option only, or for extra money you can get a tutor. So it can be not only online, but also some tutor support. Language for Teaching lasts for 6 months, and it helps to develop your, to improve your English knowledge. Yeah, how much? I can see the question. It depends on the center where you apply. I can say, I don't know if it's not a secret, in our school it costs 12,500 rubles. But the prices for the coming session in October starts the new course. So it's about, I don't know, 2,000 per month. I think it's not that much these days. Anyway, it's up to you to decide. So Language for Teaching course. This is 6-month course, purely online and about language. What's good about it, there are 2 modules. One module is about general English, and the second module is about the language for teaching. So you learn how to give instructions, how to ask questions, how to organize your lesson, but it's not about methodology, it's about the language, as it's called Language for Teaching. Just another course I wanted to mention about is Train the Trainer course. Train the Trainer course. I'm sorry for swiping the slides. I just wanted to show you these pathways. So again, if you want to develop your language knowledge, ideally you go this first pathway and you obtain the language certificate, and maybe Language for Teaching is an appropriate course for you. If your language is good enough and you want to gain some knowledge about teaching itself, so TKT might be taken, or you may go straight to CELT-P course or straight to CELT-S course where you are preparing for TKT and taking it anyway. The third pathway is for those who are experienced enough, who obtained already CELT, CELT-P, CELT-S courses, and those who want to become trainers. So Train the Trainer qualification allows you to apply and to become CELT-P, CELT-S trainer. It is also about organizing teacher sessions. I will show you the information about the course. So Train the Trainer course. Train the Trainer course can be online or offline. Offline course is about 5 full-time days. typically people come to our city and stay for the whole week here. It's highly intensive. But there is an online session, an online option, which lasts for, for 8 weeks. So it lasts for 2 months. It's very flexible. You have a Cambridge tutor, you have the lessons to observe, so you can take this course online as well if you want to be a trainer, a tutor, and hold webinars and seminars with teachers. Let's have a look at the modules there. Module 1, yeah, you can see that how to organize training classes, how to design the sessions, how to deliver the sessions. For me personally, when I took the course, the most valuable one was this: observing teachers and managing feedback. So how to keep the feedback, that you do not push too much and that you do not demotivate the person, but motivate and help to move forward, go on. So, and planning and trainer development. So this is about train the trainer course information. Oh my goodness, I have so many questions. I'm going to that section. Hope to answer all of them. All right, one moment. Do we teach online classes during CELT-P CELT-ED courses? No, you teach offline classes. I know that in the recent events, nobody really taught offline, and we agreed with the Cambridge. I texted to the help desk, and of course they allowed us to teach offline, to teach online. We could teach online for that period of quarantine, of a full lockdown. We taught online, but now when the schools are open, we go offline again, because the course itself is mainly about the classroom, managing large groups, so it's not about online teaching itself. All right. CELTA is practical, that's true. Yeah, this talk is not about CELTA, sorry. We are not CELTA exam center, so I'm not able to answer the questions about CELTA, but about CELTA-P CELTA for sure. So the question, are there any materials available for preparation? I can say that you do not need to prepare for this qualification, because the qualification itself is about study, is about reading, is about teaching and developing. So the only preparation you might need is to master your language if it is not good enough. But again, the minimum requirement is B2. I would recommend to have B1, sorry, I would recommend to have B2. So you don't really need preparation. The cost of this CELT course, it depends on the center where you apply. It might differ a little. I want to warn you, please, when you choose the exam center where to apply for the course, ask how much support you get, because most centers provide a lot of support with a tutor, face-to-face sessions. There is an administrator who helps you and answers all the questions. Sometimes some centers do not give that much support and the price might be lower. So I can say for our school, the nearest session starts in October, 1st of October, and up to the mid of September you can register. 35,000 costs CELT-P course and 40,000 CELT-S course. But again, please mind that the prices just for this session, and then they might vary. All right, let me see for some more questions. Yeah, many people ask again the difference of CELTA or CELT-S, CELT-P. Yes, CELTA is meaning Certificate of English Language Teaching of Adults, means teaching adults. P, primary, age group and focus is 6 to 11-year-old kids, and S, secondary, that's teenagers, 11 to 18. Right. Where can we pass TKT? TKT you pass in any Cambridge authorized center, which is the closest to you where you live. You can go to the Cambridge website and easily to click the button, find the center, and choose the city where you are, and if there is the center, there are a lot of centers around Russia. All right. Okay, I think I've covered train the trainer. Let me see.
Yulia, thank you very much for this presentation. There are so many questions, yes, and one of the most popular questions is about difference between CELTA and CELT-P, CELT-S. So there is huge difference, and today we are going to have another webinar about CELTA, and now I'm sharing the link in the chat box. So if you want to find out more about CELTA and especially CELTA Online, please join our webinar today. So the link to this webinar is already in the chat box. We are going to talk about CELTA course, about taking CELTA Online, and there will be some testimonials from people who took CELTA Online, and there will be some testimonials from people who took CELT-P and CELT-S courses. So please join this webinar. It starts at 4 p.m. Moscow time. And there were so many questions about the price. As Yulia said, the price depends on the center. So please contact the center in your area. If you are interested to taking this course with Pilot Language School in Rostov, Julia is the representative of this school. You can see the logo on her t-shirt. Here is the link to the website of this language school, and the information about the courses, about the price is available there. So you are very, very welcome. Please take the course and get your international certificate. Thank you, Yulia. And now it's time to present, to introduce the next presenter, Anna Kasheva. Please join me here online. Click on Go on Air and start webcasting.
Hello, Yulia.
Hello, Anna. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks a lot. Lots of useful events.
I can see you're busy running, a range of webinars.
Yes. So this week is really busy, but I believe that this support will help teachers to start exam preparation course and, of course, to improve their qualification, because professional development is extremely important. Dear friends, Anna is a teacher trainer at BKCIH Moscow Teacher Training Center, one of the best teacher training centers in Russia, the hugest teacher training center. And now Anna is going to talk about Delta, another qualification for teachers of English. So Anna, you are welcome. Can you see your presentation? Can you see?
Yes, I can see it. Yes.
Great. What's about the arrows to change the slides?
Yeah, I can see everything. Thank you, Yulia. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great.
That's
Good
helpful.
luck.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So thank you, Yulia, for presenting me and presenting my center. I'm just hoping that everyone is feeling well, safe, wherever you are in this tricky time moment. Yeah. So stay safe, please. And yeah, let's get started. So the topic of this presentation is going to be Delta, one of the qualifications that you might be interested in. Let me just start, because some of you may not know me. Let me just start by introducing myself. And I'm going to show you, well, you can see some of the information in front of you on the slide. This is about my teaching experience. Yeah, I started teaching when I was 18 years old. Obviously, I was a student at the first university, Russian University at that time, and I was completely unaware what I'll be doing and how, I was going to teach. So basically, starting by doing everything by trial and error. Yeah, at the moment, of course, we have quite a lot of courses, books that we can rely on, yeah, and we can get experience by that. However, yeah, I started by working with young learners, and then I extended the repertoire of my teaching techniques and courses that I delivered. Working with general English, exam preparation, business English, yeah, all the age groups, all the range of classes, intensive courses, super intensive courses, yeah, and so on and so forth. Why it's important to highlight that? Yeah, well, first of all, I want you to get to know me a little bit. Yeah, and secondly, it is important in terms of preparing for Delta. The wider the range of courses that you're running, the wider is the range of age groups you're working with, yeah, the better experienced you are, yeah, the more experienced you are and the better prepared you are for the models. Now, yeah, could you please type in pluses in the chat box if there is something on this slide which resonates with you. For example, you're working with younger learners, or you've been preparing students for exams, any of the exams, yeah, international exam or the Russian state exam. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Right, so we've got something in common. That's good. Okay, so as I have already mentioned, I'll be talking about Delta, and Delta is a teaching qualification. Before me, you had a couple of other webinars about other teaching qualifications, and I just want to clarify a little bit, yeah, what CELTA and Delta are like, yeah. So they're all teaching qualifications, and Delta is at the same level as master's degree. Right? I'll talk about the components of Delta in a moment. You'll become better aware what it's like and what models you can take. All of them models are monitored by Cambridge Assessment English, yeah, and supervised. If you get Delta, you'll get a greater chance to get a job abroad. And it might be particularly beneficial for those who have some experience in teaching different teaching contexts, right? And I've just highlighted which ones you might have got experience with. Right. Now, what do you think Delta stands for? So, as you can see, I'm splitting Delta into sections. Yeah, so D stands for, who can help me? Use the chat box. I'm inviting you to guess what might D be about. Diploma. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay, right. Then English, very good. Okay, so we have degree or diploma. Yeah, makes sense. Development. I like it. L, how about L? Language, right. How about T? Teaching, perfect. And A, adults. Julia just highlighted that for you, I think, yeah? Well, the thing is, you are somehow mistaken, misled, yeah? Because it used to be like that. But it's no longer true. At the moment, we are looking at Delta and CELTA as not abbreviations, not as acronyms, but certificates or diplomas in teaching English to speakers of other languages. That doesn't mean that we are teaching only adults. No, not at all. My Delta Model 3 work was on teaching young learners, and I designed a course for teaching juniors, yeah, Russian school children. So it's totally wrong. So just to clarify that, I think it's very important to understand. So if you're a school teacher, you can still be interested in getting either CELTA or Delta, or both of them, just in the right order. Cool, thank you very much. Okay, now, who is Delta for? Now, Delta is actually for experienced teachers, but what we mean when we say he or she is an experienced teacher, yeah, it's quite hard to say. So maybe they've got 20 years of experience, yeah, or maybe just a couple of years of experience. So who is actually can be regarded as a qualified and well prepared for that experience? Well, what we mean by that is it's a good idea to take a course like CELTA to get the initial teaching qualification. And then if you continue teaching, you gain experience, post-CELTA experience. Now, a recommended period is at least 1 year after CELTA, and then you can apply for Delta, and you might be accepted. But of course, the requirements are different at different centers. There is no such a thing as formal requirement, yeah, but there are certain recommendations, and trainers usually assess your understanding of the theories, methodology, your understanding of the teaching principles, some basic principles, your understanding of what is happening in ELT, yeah, and how well aware you are, how you can apply it to your teaching context, okay? But what you can see, the bullet points that I'm highlighting on the slide, is just the, it's good to have some experience with different age groups, yeah, different classes, different types of teaching contexts. As for the level of English, as for TKT, they require B1. For CELTA and Delta qualifications, it's more like advanced, yeah, in between C1 and above that. So I guess if you've taken CELTA, for example, and you're preparing for Delta, you don't worry about that because you already confirmed your level of proficiency. But if you're preparing for that, it's good to keep in mind. Right. Now, Delta is a 3-module, there are 3 components, yes, 3 models, yeah? It's a 3-model thing, let's put it this way. So which model do you think is the most important, just by looking at the numbers? Do they say something? Are they self-explanatory? The second one. Okay, right. Okay, I think you have different priorities, and to be honest, there is no right answer for this question. It's just, I've just challenged you to elicit some ideas, obviously. But the thing is, the numbers say something, yeah? There has been an idea behind that, that Delta Model 1 is focused on testing your understanding of the principles related to teaching, how well aware you are of the teaching resources, can you evaluate them effectively, do you know what assessment is like, and so on and so forth. Delta Model 2 has a practical component, yeah, you'll be giving some lessons. And Delta Model 3 is designing a course as one of the specialisms you can choose, yeah, or you can choose to specialize in management in ELT. That's also possible at the moment. So all of them are interesting. I totally agree, yes, but do you think it makes sense to prepare for Model 1, to brush up on terminology, yeah, to test yourself, to sort of to identify your strengths and weaknesses, and then when you come to Model 2, you apply for that, you're well prepared, you can demonstrate that knowledge already, yeah? So that makes sense to me. Right. Let's look at each model step by step, yeah? The first model is an exam. It's a test. It's a written test. And those of you who listened to the presentation about TKT, yeah, you may assume it's something similar to TKT. Well, I'll tell you about the differences. In TKT, you have to choose the correct answer. For example, if it's multiple choice, you choose A, B, or C. If it's a matching task, again, you are just putting things together and identifying the right answer. In Delta Model 1, you'll have to produce something. You'll be writing, okay? And that's what it makes a little bit more challenging, at least a little bit. So, if you want to pass Delta Model 1, and obviously if you take it, you want to pass, right? You need to demonstrate your deep understanding of the theories of first language acquisition and second language acquisition. You need to be able to understand their approaches, recognize, identify different types of approaches in the teaching materials, and critically evaluate them, giving a comment on that. That's one of the parts about. You'll be demonstrating your understanding of teaching lessons on skills development, and systems, language lessons, like how to teach vocabulary, how to teach functional language, things like that. How to teach or give a lesson on receptive skills. There are certain procedures that you can rely on. And then, obviously, you are well aware of a range of teaching resources, different type of course books that you have already worked with. And in the exam, you will see an extract from a teaching material, from a source. And you'll have to evaluate it and summarize some of their features. You will also have to demonstrate your understanding of what testing is like, and the principles of assessment. Okay, I just want to remove this mouse. Right. Okay. So as for the exam structure, I've got 8 statements here, 8 statements. But I'm afraid, when I've been preparing, well, to be honest, sometimes when I prepare the slides, I make mistakes. Sometimes I do it on purpose. That's the case. So have a look at the 8 statements and type in the chat box. Do you think it's true? Or we need to change it slightly? Like number 1, there are 2 exam papers. Do you think it's true? Or we need to change it somehow? Okay, number 2 is something we need to change. You're right. Yes, very good. Yes, we do need to change quite a lot here. Yeah, I'm going to highlight 1 is false. Well, actually, number 1 is correct. There are 2 papers, 2 parts in Delta Model 1. 3 models, 3 papers. No, we are talking about Delta Model 1 now, which is the test. Yes, if there is 1 break, exactly. There is a break, true. But the break is longer. It's not 10 minutes, it's half an hour. Very good. Yeah, 2 options, paper-based and computer-based. Okay. Any other things? Okay, let me just highlight the answers. Number 5, and what number 5? Is it okay, or we need to change it? 8. Okay. 8 is true, actually. Yes. Okay. If you mean that, you're right. Cool. Okay. So, Delta Model 1 consists of 2 papers. Okay. Let me just clarify that. Each paper lasts for 1 hour and a half, and there is a break in between the parts. Half an hour, 30 minutes. For each paper, you can earn 100 marks. If you answer all the questions without a single mistake. So altogether, you can earn 200 points, marks. But it's enough to get 100 marks to be awarded a pass. Okay, can you see my slides, or it's only the problem with one of the participants? Yeah, okay, cool. Right, so I'll be continuing then. So their content might be different, so there might be different types of questions in terms of what test you have to evaluate, or which definitions to give, things like that. But the task types are the same. It's reliable, and that's what we do when we prepare you for this model at our center, for example. So we give you a variety of sample papers and we show you the strategies for each task so that you can rely on those. And obviously the content might be slightly different. Sometimes you are required to write a very short answer, like one-word answer, and I'll show you that task in a moment. But quite often there will be longer written responses, like writing a sentence or a paragraph about something. Quite often you have to give examples, but you need to follow the rubric when you are required to give an example. And you'll be using continuous prose, but sometimes you can use bullet points, a grid or a table. You will always be using a pen when you're writing Delta Model 2. Yeah, and it's enough, yeah, to get 100 points to earn the certificate. Now, how can you prepare for Delta Model 1? Because you don't have to take the course, yeah, you can do it on your own. And there are certain sources of information that we can rely on, and I'll be recommending you some of them in a moment, as you can see here on the slide. First of all, the handbook is available. Yeah, you can find all the handbooks, yeah, like TKT handbook, Delta handbook, yeah, and so on. If you follow this link, yeah, Cambridge English website. There are plenty of books on methodology, and the list is nearly endless. I'm not going to recommend all of them, obviously, but I will recommend some. At the end of my presentation, you will see 3 slides with different sources that you can rely on. There are certain past papers that are available. There aren't many. Officially, you can find only 1 sample paper on the website, Cambridge website again. But yeah, we do have experience of getting feedback from our trainees, those who take the exam, and we try to catch up with the news, what's happening, what changes they're making, and so on. So we can raise your awareness of what other tasks might be like. Yeah. And obviously you can find quite a lot of websites that you can follow and read regularly, like Scott Thornberry's blog, for example, yeah, and some others. Okay, let's have a look at this word cloud. What I wanted to do is to ask you to guess what these pieces of information mean related to Delta Model 1. I have some numbers here, and I do have some phrases. So, for example, you have to write clearly, yeah? So obviously it'll be a requirement for all of the parts, yeah? How about the numbers? Who can guess what number 3 might mean? Yes, 100 marks, yeah, is a score you can earn. That's right, and it's a passing score as well, and the one that you can get on each paper. Yeah, 3 models. Okay, 3 models is a good guess, but we are talking about the Delta Model 1. It doesn't make sense now. 3 hours. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good guess. Yeah. How about 5 then? Any guesses about 5? 3 task types, maybe. Oh, good. Okay, yeah, here we are coming to the answers. Yeah, 5 long questions. Good, good ideas. I'm going to show you step by step, yeah, what they mean. Well, first of all, there are 2 papers. Both of them have the same length. Yeah, it takes 1.5 hours to take paper 1, yeah, and then to sit paper 2 as well. And there is a 30-minute break in between. So, but you can see that in paper 1, there are 5 tasks, and in paper 2, there are 3 tasks, right? Which means you can't, you can assume that in paper 1, some of the answers will be short responses, right? Shorter tasks. And that's what I wanted to highlight. So you can earn 100 points for both of the papers, which means both of them are of equal importance. It's just silly to skip some of the tasks. Yeah, you can guess some of the answers and you can still earn a mark or so, because you need to earn 100 marks anyway. The task types are different, and obviously some of the task types that are quite straightforward is labeling, yeah, when you have to give a very short answer just by providing a term. You'll see that task in a moment. Or you need to give a definition with an example, yeah, and that requires a little bit longer response, yeah, and for some parts you'll be producing a bigger text. And I have already said that you should write in ink and clearly, accurately, and sometimes you can use bullet points and tables if necessary. There will be a special booklet provided for your answers, yeah, so you'll be writing there. So, how to understand what is required, what you need to understand if you take this test, yeah? Have a look at the range of terms I'm highlighting here in this word cloud. There are plenty of them, yeah? And obviously the list is endless. You have to read a lot of books on methodology, yeah, and do research to find out more. And I'm just highlighting a concise list of terms from different areas. Now, how many areas can you identify here? One, like phonology, or maybe some other areas? Could you type in an idea what areas you can identify here? Something like teaching methodology, yeah, maybe something else. I'm not going to prompt you. I want to hear from you. Behaviorism, perfect, exactly, right. So first and second language acquisition series, very good. Psychology, there is an element of psychology because behaviorism comes from psychology, yeah. Teaching approaches, yes. Methods, very good. Dogma, exactly, yes. Tonic syllable, what's that about? Theoretical grammar, okay. I recognize some terms from Russian universities, yeah. So language awareness, different terms related to language lessons, yeah, lessons on systems. Yeah, very good. Yeah, Suggestopedia is one of the methods, yeah, very good. Perfect, you are full of great ideas, full of awesome, I'd say. Yes, great. Okay, so another question that I'm going to ask you by looking at this slide, who can give me a clarification of the acronyms you can see here? For example, SLA, what does it stand for? Any idea? Yes, testing validity. Well done, Irina. Okay, SLA, what does it stand for? Fantastic, Anna, thank you very much. Yes, absolutely right. Yes, all of you, good job. How about TBL? What does it stand for? Here is another acronym here. Yes, perfect, perfect. Okay, exactly. So you've managed to identify quite important areas. Because it's unpredictable what's going to happen in the test. Yeah, the content is changing, but we can prepare somehow by focusing on certain areas. For example, if you've studied theoretical grammar at university, probably grammatical terms is not something that you need to focus on, but you can focus on phonology by referring to a book by Peter Roach, for example, or you can focus on assessment, yeah, and so on and so forth. So you can identify certain areas of weaknesses and strengths, something reliable, and something that you need to do further research about, yeah, to be better prepared for the test. Right, so let's have a look to give you a flavor of what Delta Model 1 is like. Yeah, let's have a look at one of the tasks. Here you can see the copy of the extract of the exam taken from the handbook. have a look, try to see whether you know, whether you recognize the terms, or at least the areas. If you don't know the particular term, maybe you can see it's about grammar, or it's about phonology, or it's about discourse or assessment. Have a look. Okay, authentic is a very good guess. Unfortunately, there is no such a thing as an authentic test, because we do design tests for teaching purposes, so they lack authenticity by the definition. Fillers, that's a good guess. Discourse markers, another good guess. I need something else. But yeah, well done. I like this brainstorming. Okay, so the first term is actually back channeling. Okay, you show interest by saying something like, really? Yeah, exactly. I've seen the example. Yeah, that's something that we do use. Yeah, exactly. Okay, now the test. I could see only one performance. Okay, there is a term which is direct test. Yeah, yeah, for example, a listening is something necessary for, I don't know, for a secretary, receptionist, yeah? So she'll be tested by giving her a listening test, yeah? We can test her by giving her a listening test or something. C is clear, I think I can highlight that. You're right, absolutely right. And yeah, or EMI, exactly, yeah. So basically, several answers might be acceptable, yeah? But if they're all clearly related, you'll be fine, yeah, good job. Okay, what does CLEAR stand for? Who can tell me? Lilia maybe, or Irina? Yeah, what does it stand for? Content and language integrated learning. Yeah, not teaching, learning. And EMI, yeah, English as a medium of instruction, right? Okay, good. Let's move on. So yeah, I've seen the answer for D. Well done. Yeah, many of you have identified that. I'm highlighting that. And now let's look at the consonant sound, which is quite tricky. It comes from phonology, obviously. And I've seen several terms that look very similar, and it's a bit confusing, but I'll accept any of them. Plosive, no, that's not right. That's not enough, at least. Okay, this is the answer. You can see, yeah. No, it's not a glottal stop. Yeah, we are talking about the sound. Yes, and finally we have homonyms. Yeah, homonyms, which you've identified. Yeah, a homophone. Yeah, very good. Yeah, sorry, homonyms are different because it means pronunciation and spelling are the same. And a homophone is about the sounds that coincide, but the spelling might be different. Right, good job. Okay, the first task is very straightforward. If you know the term, yeah, you'll be given the term. Yeah, you're labeling the definitions. Now, the second task is slightly more challenging because here you'll be asked to give a definition on your own, yeah, of your own, and also to give an example so that you can illustrate, you can support your point of view, you show your understanding of the term, right? So, let's have a look. Who knows what a compound is? If you don't remember a definition, maybe some examples come to mind from your university courses. Different parts, yes, two words come together and make a new word. For example, a bus stop, right? Traffic lights, good. Yes, snowman, perfect. Oh, yes. Very good. Can you think of a compound adjective, please? Who can give me an example? Good boy is a collocation. It's not a compound noun. Teapot, perfect, yeah. Blue-eyed, perfect. Hardworking, fantastic, yeah. Okay, how about the second one? Genre. Let's talk about that. It comes from discourse study. And if, yeah, plenty of great examples. Well done, yeah. Okay, an essay and report, they are texts of different genres, absolutely right, yeah. Yeah, fiction as a genre, yeah, very good, yeah. So what you are saying is not a definition, yeah. They're good ideas, but we need to define it somehow. Type of communication, not sure about that. Yeah, okay, good examples, yeah, we've got plenty of examples, yeah. It's hard to define it. I'll show you the definition in a moment. Okay, how about C, stative verb? A style or category, yeah, of, yeah, okay, you're coming towards the very good idea about how we can define genre. Yeah, I could see quite a lot of examples of stative verbs. Thank you very much. Yes, and some of you are given an attempt to define the stative verb. Very good, awesome. Okay, finally, proficiency test. Who can either give me an example or clarify the term a little bit? Yeah. Delta is not a proficiency test, no. Yes, FCEC, yes, that's right. Yeah, okay, cool. Yes, it's about your language level, yeah, proficiency. Right, yeah, yeah, okay, other answers are very good. Yeah, CPE, of course, yeah. Right, so what you need to produce there, what is expected from you, yeah? First of all, it's good to use bullet points for this answer, yeah? It's good to label the answers with the letters given, yeah? You take them from the terms, yeah, from the rubric. Then you give a definition, which you can create on your own, and then you give examples, yeah? And this is something as a layout. If it is clear, like what I'm showing you right now, yeah, the examiner will see it and it'll be clear for them, and hopefully you'll get more points for that. Sometimes, you know, if the answer is messy, it's not well presented, you lose marks, which is silly. So we try to train our candidates to present things in the right way. Okay. Right, no surprises here. What we couldn't define, yeah? Genre is tricky, yeah? Text type. I've seen a very similar idea, but you went away from the topic of texts. But yes, specific features, right? Okay, cool. Okay. Just, I can't show you all of the task types. We don't have enough time for that. But briefly, let's have a look at one more task, which comes from the second paper. It is the first task, which is not the most difficult task, let me just admit, but it's easier for this short presentation to analyze it. So you are given a context, you're given a situation, yeah? Somebody is working as a receptionist, as far as I remember, and she's taking a course, and at the beginning of the course, she's given a diagnostic test, yeah? To assess her level at the beginning, before she starts the course, yeah, or just at the beginning of the course, basically. And the test you can see on the right, yeah, exercise 6 and 7. It's an extract from the test, and the task says that there was also a separate speaking test, yeah, for her. So what you need to do is you need to evaluate the effectiveness of these activities, yeah, to assess the level of this particular student. You will have to make 6 points, and they will be positive and negative points, yeah, about this test. So, any ideas what might be good about task type, like listen and write down what you can hear? So what kind of test is that? I'm talking about exercise 6 from this task. Listen and write down what you can hear. What do we call that? Okay, nobody knows. Dictation, of course. It is a dictation. Yes, absolutely right. Okay, and what do we call a test which represents exercise 7 represents that type of test? Yeah. Again, you have to listen and identify the right answer, A, B, or C. I think Lilia wanted to say multiple choice questions. You're right, actually. Yeah, I'm assuming that's what you meant. Yeah, good job. Okay, yeah, lazy typers. Okay, so do you think both dictation and multiple choice are reliable type of tests? What do you think in your experience? Multiple choice is what? More reliable, you think? Not very. So we can criticize it, but we need to keep in mind some principles of assessment to be able to do that. Yeah, high order of thinking. Yes, okay, that's a great idea. There is no creativity here. That's true. Yeah, we are not assessing anything of that kind. We are just assessing understanding of something. Yeah, and sometimes, like in exercise 7, the candidate might guess what the answer is. Yeah, without understanding the answer. Good. So what I've got a couple of ideas. Yeah, let's say we can brainstorm, and I'm confirming some of them. Yeah, yes, exactly. Some tests are really practical, but they're not reliable, and that's what multiple choice is like. Yeah, there is no element of subjectivity though. Yeah, because you know what the correct answer is, whereas in like writing an essay or some speaking tasks, yeah, there is an element of subjectivity depending on who assesses you. So I have a couple of ideas here. Dictation acts as a form of note-taking, which is good for a receptionist. Yeah, it's a necessary skill for her, and that's a positive thing, of course. Yeah, it's a direct test of listening skills. Yeah, lexis in the dictation, however, is not relevant. Yeah, if you look at the topic, yeah, it's taken from one of the course books, and it's not relevant for her business context that we could see in the situation given. And both tasks, unfortunately, are scripted, obviously. They're taken from the course book, and obviously they lack authenticity. So those are some of the features, but the thing is, you don't have to identify positive and negative sides. You also need to present your answers so that they're clear and demonstrate your understanding. And for that, you need to do something like this. Yeah, you can use some kind of subheadings. This is positive, this is negative. Or you can do even better. You can use subheadings. Positive point, you are giving the positive point, application for the learner, and you are giving your supporting point of view, right? So this is the requirement of this particular task. Trust me, many people do identify different characteristics, but they can't justify their point of view, and that's why they're not awarded a mark for their answers. Right, let's talk about Delta Model 2. Model 1 is just a test. Seriously, it's a long test, it's challenging, but it's just a test, and you can prepare on your own. You don't have to take a course for that if you don't want to. For Delta Model 2, you'll have to take a course because there is a teaching component there. So, Delta Model 2 is about doing certain assignments. Yeah, you'll be given 5 assignments during the course. And I'll talk about them in a moment. All of the assignments will be marked by either a trainer, yeah, a center trainer, or by an external assessor with the reference to the assessment criteria, which will stay the same from the beginning to the end of the course. and they're available, of course, for you. The assignments will be focused on professional development, lessons on systems and skills, so teaching. I can't answer the questions about the price. I'm terribly sorry. So if you want to find out, have a look at the website, for example. Our center offers courses like that. Yeah, you need to have a look at the website. So one of the assessments will be externally assessed, and some other, like 3 of them, will be internally assessed by the center tutors. Let's have a look at the assignments a little bit more closely. So the professional development assignment is a kind of essay that you'll have to produce throughout the course. You'll be working in it from stage 2 up to the end of the course. You'll be reflecting on your experience. You'll be identifying your strengths, the areas you need to improve, and working out an action plan, and then evaluating the success of those. There will be also an experimental practice that you'll have to run. It's a kind of lesson on a new approach, technique, or something that you want to try out. That teaching, that lesson won't be assessed, but the essay will contribute to the professional development assignment. Finally, there are 4 assignments, 2 on skills and 2 on systems. And of course, they should be of different kinds, like skills, receptive and productive, systems, different types of systems. For each of them, you will have to produce a background essay demonstrating your research and awareness of the topical area. The essay will be 2,000 up to 2,500 words. You'll have to plan and deliver a lesson based on that research, and then you'll be evaluating that experience too. All of the works will be written in continuous prose. Sometimes you can use bullet points and tables of different kinds. If you take Delta Model 2, it means you'll be exposed to a variety of input sessions, delivered by the trainers who work for this center. The topical areas are many, they're endless, and usually the trainers decide on what input sessions to run when the course has been launched already, to meet their trainees' needs, to help them. They can change the curriculum slightly. Obviously, all of the areas that are covered in Delta Model 1 can be presented in Delta Model 2, and they will be. And you'll have to demonstrate your awareness of all of the areas, and that's why taking models in this order makes sense. In terms of the center support, you won't be left alone. It's not only about doing something individually, on your own. You'll be guided throughout the course. There will be 200 learning hours, which includes not only face-to-face components, of course, but some research, reflection, observation of experienced teachers, of peers, and so on. And you'll be teaching, of course, as well. Teaching practice, both assessed and unassessed. So everything that happens throughout the course is based on formative internal assessment, which means 2 trainers are going to support you and guide you to help you develop, to improve your skills, and also improve your paperwork. Towards the end of the course, you'll be assessed by an assessor who comes from Cambridge, is assigned by Cambridge. And the results will be announced in a couple of months' time, whether you've passed or you got married and so on. Obviously, all of the assessment points are given with the reference to the assessment criteria. What are the assessment criteria for the essays that you have to produce on a Delta course? The quality of writing, for example, there are many inaccuracies. You will lose a lot of marks for that. lesson planning and evaluation. Can you plan thorough lessons? Yeah, are they reliable? Can you follow them? Can you anticipate a variety of problems? Yeah, do you know your priorities for the lesson and so on? And then your self-reflection skills as well. Classroom management is still important at this level. You'll be demonstrating a variety of teaching techniques during the lessons, yeah, and with deeper understanding what to use and how to respond and when not to intervene during activities. Throughout the course, you'll have to demonstrate your understanding of the teaching principles, yeah, in a variety of areas. And what I'm highlighting here is you have to deliver a cohesive and suitably varied lesson, yeah. I think there is a typo here. But the thing is, it means that you need to know what the aim of the lesson is, and everything contributes to meeting that aim, to achieving that, yeah. And the self-evaluation should show, again, your understanding of what went wrong and what was good. Yeah, so the question is, can you fail the course? Yeah, obviously, I think that, yeah, I think you're giving the right answer, exactly. And that's why we have a rigorous process of selection candidates for Delta Model 2, well, for all models, actually. We will raise your awareness if you're not ready. We will give you some tips how to prepare better and when to come to apply again, because we don't want you to pay a lot of money and fail, obviously. Right, so to finish my presentation, I'll talk briefly about Delta Model 3. It's basically an extended assignment. Yeah, you have to produce a piece of work about one of the specialism areas that you've selected. It's a kind of course design usually. You'll be awarded a pass if you get 80 marks, yeah, if everything is relatively accurate and the ideas are reliable and so on. But if it is exceptionally good, you can get merit or distinction. There are the exam sessions for Delta Model 1 and also for submitting submissions. Delta Model 3 are either in December or in June. Yeah, there are two times in a year, in academic year, when you can do that. You have to inform the center in advance. You have to register for the exam and for the paper submission. The assessment criteria for Delta Model 2 are the following. So you have to demonstrate your understanding of the topic. So for example, if it's about teaching young learners, you'll be figuring out what teaching young learners is like and what problems might be there, yeah, and how you can tackle those. You should be conducting needs analysis and summarizing your findings, and obviously designing your course based on those. Everything should be connected. Again, it's about cohesion and coherence. And you'll be talking about assessment too in that course description, because assessment is part of the course. If your ideas are clear and the quality is good, then you'll be awarded some marks for that as well. Okay, right. Now, how can you prepare for Delta? Yeah, for Delta Model 2, obviously, you have to take the course, but it doesn't mean that you can't prepare for the course, yeah? For Model 1 and 3, actually, you can do everything on your own. But what is important, first of all, download the handbook and find out as much as possible about the requirements. That's a must. When you are aware what the requirements are, you'll see whether you're ready for that or not, or how long it might take, and if you need help from trainers. If your level of English is good enough, it won't be a problem, obviously, because everything is in English, and yeah, it'll be a piece of cake. If you are interested in getting more information about which books to read, how to evaluate materials, and so on and so forth, you can take IHCAM model. It's a course, Certificate in Advanced Methodology, which we call a kind of bridge in between CELTA and Delta. And if you don't have CELTA, perhaps it's a good idea to take CELTA first, because it's got the same practical component, teaching practice, and you'll be assessed and therefore you'll be better prepared for Delta experience. Some of the centers don't accept anyone without CELTA. Yeah, if you apply for a Delta, it's a good idea to have it. And yeah, you do research, you read about Delta on different websites. You can follow some of our graduates who run blogs. They're very helpful. And don't forget to do some research about the center you're applying for. Yeah, some of the centers are well recognized, and some of the centers are not well prepared, not well equipped, and perhaps you can't take Delta Model 1 there if they are not a registered center. Okay. So what you do, yeah, you just go to the website, yeah, you identify the center which is nearby, then you fill in the application form that you can find on the website. You send it to the center. The managers will send you a pre-interview task. You do the task. If it's done successfully, you'll be invited for an interview with a Delta trainer, okay? It's quite a straightforward process, and the trainers can recommend you how to prepare better if they think you're not well prepared, yeah, you're not that ready, yeah, they'll give you some tips what to do. Right, so some of the benefits, yeah, I'm going to show you a couple of points that I usually demonstrate. This is a prestigious qualification, of course, yeah, and it will open some doors for you. But you can also meet quite a lot of people who are the same in terms of interest in professional development, yeah, and that's very important. We get feedback from our trainees on a regular basis, and many of them say that the course is very beneficial, especially for experienced teachers. Those who want to develop professionally, those who want to get the high quality qualification. This experience helped them become better aware of all the principles and techniques, and their teaching became more conscious, which is a very good thing to say. So I'm very grateful to them. Now, I promised to share some books that you may find useful in terms of Delta preparation, but if you are interested in just doing that without doing Delta, it's also fine, yeah? Many of the books you can see here, all of them are about methodology, okay? There are some specific books that are very, very helpful. Basic ones, Learning to Teach English, Learning Teaching by Scrivener and Harmer, The Practice of English Language Teaching, and some more advanced books and more specific, like on CLIL, for example, yeah, or professional development. This is the first slide. The second slide is about books about language, to raise your language awareness and to read more about some terminology related to systems. To do research, to prepare better for your lessons, and so on. Yeah, right. And finally, some more books that I didn't find a category for, like phonology, for example, yeah, or assessment. They're also very important, and I am highlighting some of them here. Right, and you can also subscribe to different websites, yeah, follow certain bloggers. So a couple of ideas are on this slide. And yeah, so this is basically about Delta, what you can show, what you can demonstrate, and your motivation to take Delta. Okay, that's all basically I wanted to talk about. So if there are questions, let me just have a look at the question box. Can we apply for Delta? I think I've answered this question. So in many centers, we do prefer to take CELTA candidates, of course, CELTA qualified teachers. But there are exceptions, and the interview will reveal whether you're ready for that or not. Okay. that's basically it. Yeah. Okay, we don't have any questions then. Thank you very much for being active listeners and participants. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Anna, thank you very much for being with us today for this great presentation. I hope that all this session helped us to understand the difference between different English teaching qualifications, and now our participants, our attendees can choose the best one for them. So we discussed TKT, CELT-P, CELT-S, and Delta, and now it's time to talk about CELTA. So I copy the link in the chat box again. If you want to join the event, please follow the link and register for another webinar about CELTA. We're going to talk about CELTA online. This is a great opportunity in this COVID-19 period. Our colleagues from IH Izmir will be there. So please,
I can join, yes.
please join. I think it will be really interesting. So once again, thanks a lot. The materials, the recording, the certificates of attendance will be distributed soon. Sometimes it takes some time to prepare all the materials, but we will share them, I promise. Thank you very much. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, dear attendees, and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Cambridge Week Day 4, and we are going to talk about teaching and assessing online. Flipped classroom, online resources from Cambridge Assessment English, and our new test, Lingua Skill, powered by artificial intelligence. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.